Greetings. This is my first video for the NoFap community and NoFap Christian community as well. So finally we made it to 90 days. And when I think about it, look back on the past 90 days, and even before that, all the years that plagued me with the addiction to porn, it seems like so long ago. But I want to address this topic because, number one, the shame that's associated with it is such a stigma in our society for men to just talk about it, to be open about it. I'm not saying, we should just talk about it on the bus and in front of women. I'm saying that men need to talk about it amongst themselves in a private setting where things can be kept confidential. YouTube is sort of an avenue like that, but I think I will put this as an unlisted video and then post the link on NoFap. Where to start? So I began my downward spiral into depravity. I'm just going to be open and honest. I'm not going to hold back. As early as I can remember, I believe I was either 4 or 5 years old, and I just started exploring my body, and I realized that when you stimulate yourself, your genitals, it feels good. But at that age, when you're not a teenager yet, you don't have those reproductive functions yet, nothing happens. It's just, I don't know, I guess I had an erection, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Just that's all that could happen. That's the extent of it, no pun intended. And then in 1997, that's when I started using the internet, and a whole world of hell opened up to me. Actually, even before that, I remember pay-per-view. I remember late night movies on a channel we call Showcase in Canada, and they played a lot of softcore pornography. They played a lot of late night TV, even City TV. There's a channel called City TV, and they would play something called Blue Moon Lagoon or something Blue Moon Nights, and they would play softcore kind of, a lot of movies that have sexual content in it, like very explicit content without showing, obviously, male full frontal nudity. So they'd stop there. But to cut it short, I don't want to talk too much about the past, but in a nutshell, the internet, I'm not going to blame the internet, but I made the choice to look and to search for things that I shouldn't have. And I became desensitized, I became more depraved, and as much as I want to say that I didn't go into the most outlandish fetishes, that I did take glimpses. It's just, it was so prevalent, and it's even more prevalent now. But those things were widely available, and even if you didn't want to see them, they would be in little windows or just, off to the side, and you wonder, what is that? And you click out of curiosity, and then I would stop, when it came to things like bestiality and people having sex with food and fetishes like so golden showers and stuff with excrements, like poop and all that crap. Literally poop. Anyway, yeah, I'd stop. I'd just take a glimpse and going, oh, anyway. But I'm not trying to condemn anyone who is interested in that. The point of this is that I'm saying this is where it started, and I was hooked. I remember fapping. Actually, I didn't fap the conventional way. What I personally did was, ever since I was a kid, I didn't know how to masturbate. No one taught me. All I did was pretty much dry hump my pillow or something, or just rub my body against something, pretty much dry hump. So that's what I was doing. Or grind myself against my bed or mattress or whatever. So that's what I did, and I only learned about masturbation when I was a teenager, like in high school, maybe grade 10 or 11, I don't know, because I wasn't actually using my hand, I was just grinding, and that kind of off topic, but it kind of helped develop my glutes. But anyway, it's not what I'm talking about. The point of this is I was addicted to pornography, and I can't say I'm 100% cured, but I'm a lot better now. It started when I was 13 years old, I believe. Yeah, 12, 13. And so for over 20 years, to be exact, I'd say 23-ish, 23, 24 years to be exact. That's how long this has been plaguing me, and many times I'd delete what I had in my hard drive, thinking, it's not gonna come back. I'm not gonna be entertaining this. I'm not gonna have an appetite for it anymore. But you know what? I did go back. Sometimes downloading the same videos. Sometimes downloading even more than I had before. Because the thing is, I didn't really hate it. Anyway, I guess I'll talk about the history of my addiction, but I didn't really hate it that much. It was not until I saw this video on YouTube called the spiritual dimension of pornography. There's the spiritual dark side of pornography, narrated by this guy who sounds black, and he's got some like Shaft sounding music at the beginning. That's how you know which video I'm talking about. And it was a very, very helpful video, very eye-opening video. It made me realize that I'm being manipulated by spiritual forces, dark spiritual forces, demonic, satanic spiritual forces that I don't want anything to do with me. I don't want them to have any control over me. So that's where that seed kind of was planted, where I started to hate it. But before that, it was all human effort, my own efforts, and they would fail because I couldn't find a reason to hate it. I would try to convince myself, try to get my logic to think, okay, what if that was my relative or my friend or, this woman that I actually know? Like, how would I feel? But that didn't really do it for me, because I would always push it away and just, this is, pornography's here and my family and da-da-da's over there, and two separate worlds. They just do not connect. It's only when I connect to the spiritual aspect of it and this um, how do I say it? It's like there's a, I don't want to say the C word, conspiracy, but I just did. There are forces that want to destroy our human potential in this life and in the next life. I can confess with 100% assurance, and it's sad to say, but if I had not been addicted to pornography in the last 20 plus years, I would be a much better man than I am now. I don't say this with, um, I don't say this to blame anybody else. I'm taking accountability. I'm being accountable and holding myself responsible for the choices I've made. And I'm also looking to the future, because if I wallow in the sorrow of, should have done this, should have done that, that's not going to help. All I can do is say, what I did was wrong, and I have to stop it. I have to cut it short, and then I have to move on. So I'm going to talk about now 90 days. Okay. Well, in these past 90 days now, including today's day 90, I did not reach orgasm from my own masturbation or related to pornography. I do confess I did edge multiple times, at least, I'm going to say at least 20. And a lot of people say, when you edge, it's even worse. Just come, just release yourself. And, if I just gave into that line of thinking, I wouldn't have made it to day 14, because I edged on day 14, day 20, day 30, day 33, day 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And the days leading up to 90 were some of the hardest, some of the most difficult. So I didn't give in to that. But the last 3 days, I think it was day 87 or so, I had a wet dream, and that was the only time that I came, and I didn't feel guilty at all. I felt a little dirty, but I didn't feel guilty because I didn't have any control over it, number one. And number two, there's a big difference between when you consciously are coming, orgasming, versus nocturnal emission, because the way that it felt for me, at least, was like if you had, like you take a deep breath, right? You take another breath, you're already topped up, and so there's just extra air, and the wet dream was like, was just releasing what's in excess. So, but normally what happened is that I just drain my balls, so to speak. I drain my balls dry, and and then I'd feel weak after. But what happened with this nocturnal emission, I didn't feel weak. I didn't feel drained. I just felt, oh, that was satisfying. That was relieving. It's exactly what I needed. So it happened when I needed it. And the problem was, there was a little bit of a problem. That the problem was that I wanted to replicate that, and then I edged after that. But that's one of the tough things when it comes to wet dreams. So I don't want to talk too long. I don't want to go to 20 minutes in this video. So I'm just gonna say that these past 90 days, I thought reaching 90 was gonna be the end of it, and I just come like tomorrow or the next day. It's tempting, I gotta admit, it is tempting to just relapse and start all over again, do another 90 days, but what I realized is that realized that these first 90 days were just, they're not the end, it's just the beginning. Because I did edge multiple times, I could do better. I could not edge at all. I did look at pornography multiple times. I could have not looked at all. I did have impure thoughts of women that I saw with my own eyes in public, at work, and things like that. I could have not looked at all. I could have looked and turned my eyes away or closed my eyes, and there's some times where I just gave another glance, and sometimes that extra glance is all it takes to entertain those thoughts. So what I'm trying to say is I look forward to the next 90 days, and I have to be really honest with myself. Am I going to edge and edge and edge? My goal should be to not only just not orgasm for the next 90 days, round 2, cycle 2, but not to even edge. And if I edge, it's not a fail, but at the same time, I should do my best not to. And why is this? Because I'm going to get religious now, but in the scriptures, in the Bible, Jesus, you know him as Jesus Christ, said that, you've heard it said of old, that, I'm just paraphrasing right now, that you shall not commit adultery. Don't sleep with another man's wife. But then he brought it up a notch. He said, but I tell you, if you even look at a woman and you lust after her, you've already committed adultery in your heart. And I'm thinking, woo, every time I read that, it never gets old. It's like a dagger into the heart every time. Because, and I'm not blaming the women who dress in yoga pants and all that. I'm not going to blame them. I'm going to take responsibility for looking, but they don't make it easier. Every time you look at a woman dressed in such a way that they're attracting you and making you think those adulterous thoughts, you've already done it. You're guilty. So you got to stop it. Nip it at the bud, they say. Okay, so it's so much easier said than done, but I'm at a supermarket, okay, I'm in the lineup. There's a girl in front of me wearing the tightest pants ever, and it's like almost see-through. And yeah, I look, I'm going, oh, okay, you know what? I saw it for a second. Gonna turn away, close my eyes, just like distract myself, look at my phone, whatever. Man, I gotta breathe out. Just gotta remember to breathe. So that's one scenario. Another scenario is this happened quite a bit in the last 90 days, but I'd be home alone, or just alone anywhere, and you feel like you're isolated. No one can see you. No one's gonna judge you, whatever. But at the same time, going back to religion, the eyes of God are everywhere. Nothing we do is really hidden from His sight. So, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like that's real to a lot of us, even to believers, even to people who believe in God, because we're going, you know what? I feel like I'm alone and I don't get much privacy too much, so why don't I just, look a little bit? Why don't I just search up, or not even search up, just go to Snapchat. I'm not even looking for it, but hey, it's right there under my subscription. There might be women even in your subscription. You gotta remove them. And then Instagram, of course, there's always the temptation to just, look at what's trending, and then there's a picture of one of the thoughts, they call them, right? Anyhow, I already passed 20 minutes. I hope that this video is encouraging to you. The point of this video isn't to toot my own horn and to say, I'm so great because I reached 90 days. The point of this was to just relay that this was not easy. And I didn't do it 100%, no edging, no looking at porn. I could have done a lot better. But the point is I did an orgasm, and that's why I count it as 90 days. I also found that the more that what really helped me, I want to say this before I close this video, but what really helped me, number one, was God. God helped me the most. He motivated me and kept me focused in the ways that he did. Number two was the NoFap community. NoFap, I started there, I think over a year ago now, and I just started posting on NoFap Christians in the past maybe a couple months. But you guys on NoFap have been very... you have no idea how much you guys helped me with all your upvotes and comments. I started with the NoFap emergency button, and that, to be honest, it just helped a tiny bit, maybe like 5%, but it was the community and reading your guys' posts, reading the comments, reading comments to my posts. And thirdly, the third most helpful thing was also on NoFap is whenever I would go there. Actually, this helped more than two, just visiting. What helped me the most, or third most, actually I'm going to make it second. What helped second to the most is what helped was when I visited NoFap and NoFap Christians, and not simply posting my problems, not simply thinking about myself and looking to people's posts to help myself. That did help me, I'd say maybe 30%. But it wasn't until I started to read other people's posts with a compassionate eye and helping people using advice, using tips that I would learn throughout my journey. Because the thing is, the longer you go without vaping, the more you learn things about yourself and the process. I learned a lot of things about myself. I learned a lot of things about what works, what doesn't. I'm not going to name them all, but definitely delete all the porn you have. Definitely unsubscribe and unsubscribe to those people on Snapchat and Instagram that are tempting you to think adulterous thoughts, to think lustful thoughts. You have to remove that trap, the temptations in your life, because they're always going to be waiting otherwise. So when I started to go to NoFap to help other people, to encourage other people, to share with them things that help me, and using my judgment, I could gauge whether that would help them or not, and hopefully it would. And a lot of the times they would say, hey, you know what, you gotta, that's a good idea, or I never thought of it that way. And yeah, it makes me feel good, but you know what's more than making me feel good is actually someone making their life better. Actually having an impact on someone's life and the course of their life. I'm not saying it's all me, but to even help somebody to not fap another day, another hour, another minute, another second, just to distract them, and to encourage them that, you know, you can do this. And not just being a cheerleader, because sometimes I feel like I'm a cheerleader, but the thing is, when I read some of your posts and the things you're going through and the frustrations you're dealing with, and then I tell you, you know what, I've been through that. I can relate to that. You're not alone. And I'm reading about your successes, how you made it your personal best. You've made it to your personal best, and I'm saying, wow, you know, you're on your way. You're gonna be there. So just hang in there. Don't quit. Don't quit quitting. NoFap. So that's all I have to say. This is my day 90 video. Initially, I didn't want to post this. I didn't want to even record it because of the shame associated with this. But the truth is, the more we talk about it, the more that we can actually deal with it, the more we can actually better ourselves. If we ignore the problem, it's just going to grow and grow. But the more that we are open about it, and we're not afraid to show our face or whatever it is, the more we share it with people in our lives, particularly other men specifically. I don't think it is appropriate to share with a lot of women unless, you know, you're married or whatever, and maybe your wife could help you through it, or your girlfriend. But thing is, we got to be open and honest about it, guys. We can't hide from the problem, and we can't hide ourselves, because the more that we're ashamed of ourselves, the more we make this a problem to be ashamed about, the more it's just not going to be addressed, the more it's going to keep plaguing our society. So I encourage you all to do the same, you know, film a video talking about your struggles with NoFap, talking about your successes with NoFap. There's this guy on YouTube, I can't pronounce his channel, but Mikolois or something like that. That guy has been really encouraging in the NoFap movement too, so I gotta shout out to him. And yeah, that's the end of my video. So I hope this helps you, and if you've started your journey, keep going. Make it to 90 days, and after that, you know, I don't know, just make it to 90 days. And if you are having trouble making it to day 1 or day 2 or a week, you know, just keep trying. Don't give up. You can do it. You can do it. You just have to commit to it. My secret weapon, obviously, is God. It's my faith. Without it, I don't even think I could make it to get day 7. But anyway, everyone's got their own motivations. You gotta find yours. You gotta hate it, guys. You gotta hate it. That's all I have to say. This is a 30-minute video. Way too long. Okay. Thanks for watching. So long.